Welcome to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm Joe Cook, got Eric Naleen with me here on Monday the 15th. We've got some great breaking news to talk about. Eric, Spring Decaney tight end Nick Townsend has committed to Texas, had a host of programs coming after him, including in-state A&M and out-of-state Alabama, but the Longhorns are the program that he chose, and this is a massive addition for Jeff Banks, Steve Sarkisian, and for the Longhorns.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin on this guy. He's one of my favorite players in the state. One of my favorite players in a long time. I think he and Lance Jackson are two just entirely different sorts of athletes. They're NFL players. I think Nick has the makeup to be great. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be better than Jatavian Sanders, which says a lot. I think he's got more of a two-way presence about him as far as a blocker as well. The football character is high. Every time I talk to him, he talks about wanting to be coached hard. Jeff Banks has taken a little bit of heat from recruiting fans over the years by not getting the highest rated guys. I think, Jordan Washington, I think, is an absolute stud. The network's missed on him. But there's no mistaking how good Nick Townsend is. You can just watch this for yourself. He's just a beast, total animal. Could play edge if you wanted to, sort of like Jatavian, had that reputation. Look at him go there. It's ridiculous. 10.92 at 235 pounds in the 100. And that's fully automatic. It's as good a timing as you're going to get. Just an amazing athlete. Watch him go again. Just bounce off of that guy. Just an absolute stud, difference maker. I think he'll be able to play as a true freshman.
You talked a little bit about Jatavian Sanders, and if you tracked his career, as a sophomore, playing a lot of edge, moonlighting as a receiver, by the end of Sanders' career, he was basically a receiver full time, and then would play the occasional snap over on the edge. But with someone like Townsend, he's doing a lot. Like, a lot of schools probably could play him as a linebacker, which speaks not only to his overall athleticism that is very apparent on the screen, but just his football ability as well.
Oh man, what was that? A 90-yard touchdown with nobody touching him that we just saw. When I went to Decaney, I went to do some reconnaissance because Texas hadn't been recruiting him as hard as I was expecting. There was a little bit of a lull, so I went by. He's too good of a guy. I had to go by and check and see if everything had changed, and things had changed, and they were back to recruiting him hard. That practice, he was playing off-ball linebacker, not just playing edge, but playing off-ball. And there are colleges that think he can play off-ball linebacker or edge. Obviously, he can play edge, probably play NFL, play edge in the NFL if he wanted to. Like I said, 6'3.5", 235 pounds, big guy, very twitchy, and then has a football character and disposition that can translate to defense or offense.
When talking about who Texas had to beat with this recruitment, obviously Texas A&M was involved, but they went a different direction with Keati Armstrong. Alabama was very much involved, probably the biggest competition. Was it safe for Jeff Banks that he was able to beat a program like Alabama, maybe even trade a prospect, but beat Alabama for someone like Townsend, someone they pursued as if he were a priority?
Yeah, they couldn't let him leave the state. A&M was on him. A&M wanted him even though they got Keati Armstrong. But you're right, Alabama was the biggest threat. There he is on the blitz, delayed blitz, just going straight up. This guy. Oh, man. Yeah, I think Texas caught a little bit of a break with Caleb Edwards committing to Alabama, but Texas knew that they were in that dogfight because they seem like they're happy to split aces. They either get Caleb or they get Nick. They're going to be set either way, but it's always good to protect your home turf. Jeff Banks has a very good reputation and relationships within Decaney High School. I think that helped out a lot. But when I first met Nick in January, talking to him outside of a junior day. His face was lit up like a lot of guys I'd seen before that would go on to commit to Texas, and I had a really good feeling. He was saying all the right things about being the next Jatavian Sanders, loving how they used him in the offense, and it seemed like this was on a good path. Jeff Banks had to get it done, and he got it done.
Before we continue, got to give a little bit of love to our sponsor. That is Laura Baker. If you are in the Central Texas area and you are looking for a home, call Laura Baker. She is a member of the elite Andy Allen team, part of Keller Williams Realty. She will help you from anywhere from New Braunfels to Temple, Mason to LaGrange. Give her a call, 512-784-0505, or email her at laura@andyallenteam.com. So, Eric, just to continue with looking at the rest of the Longhorns class, they have Amari Winston as it pertains to tight end, a little bit different. Now they have Nick Townsend. So What do you make of the Texas tight end class and the pieces that they have now, and maybe any other pieces that they could think to add as well?
I think Nick probably has a reputation of being a flex tight end, just because he's so explosive as an athlete. But his size and physicality mean he can play inside too. He could play inline. He could be a two-way tight end. I think he's got the necessary tenacity and physicality to be a blocker. And then you've got Amari Winston, who is more of an H-back than anything, just very versatile, a guy that you're going to want to put in motion. You're going to want to lock him up on defenders in space, create a lot of different angles in the run game with him. And then Amari's also got really good hands, natural hands, catches away from his body. I think he's a smart receiver, knows how to get open. You can see him high point the ball. It's an extremely versatile tight end group. They can do a little bit of everything with Nick, and then Amari's got a lot of nuance to his game. I always compare him to Ben Sinnott at Kansas State. Not saying he's that level of player. I don't know. Sinnott just went in the second or third round, I think. But Amari brings that sort of playbook schematic versatility to the game that Sinnott did.
One of the things about Townsend, you look at his ranking, number 124 overall in the On3 industry ranking. On3 thinks higher of him. He's number 88, the number 4 tight end in On3's ranking, in the top 25 in the state of Texas. Helps the Longhorns class. And one thing I kind of look to as well is, and something you talk about a lot, is the market. Not only was it Alabama and Kalen DeBoer, who knows a lot about offense, and even before Kalen DeBoer got there, Nick Saban was very much after Nick Townsend. Texas A&M and Colin Klein. That's a guy who knows, like you mentioned, Ben Sinnott. Guess whose offense he was in? He was in Colin Klein's offense there at Kansas State, and even USC. Little bit of a different responsibility when you think of tight end at USC, but someone in Lincoln Riley who, you can quibble with his program building ability all you want and what he does on both sides of the ball. But when you look at offense, he's done some great things with tight ends. And Nick Townsend was someone that he really pursued really closely. And he took an official visit there, I think, as well. So speaks a little bit to the market that was after him, the offenses, the programs that were after him. In Texas ends up being the program that gets the win. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, head to InsideTexas.com. You can use the promo code IT1, get 2 months of Inside Texas access for just $1. Again, like the video, help us get to 8,000 subscribers. Again, if you are on podcast, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and review. 5-star rating, maybe like Nick Townsend should be rated in the On3 ranking. So Eric, thank you so much. We'll see you next time on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.